Breaking news coming across scenes of ruckus coming out from the UP assembly there. In fact, the opposition is understood to be creating a ruckus there over the law and order situation that has been prevalent in Uttar Pradesh. Pictures coming to you live now. Scenes of absolute ruckus, chaos being played out in the Uttar Pradesh assembly. The opposition party demonstrating there, shouting slogans as well. I understand from the posters and banners being held up that the row is over. The law and order situation as prevalent in Uttar Pradesh, spate of crime and rise in the crime graph, which has been criticized as far as the Akhilesh Yadav government is concerned as well. Demonstrations were being held in the UP assembly, and ironically, given that this is what's really been happening, this is what they're protesting outside in UP as well, now playing out in the state assembly as well. Now, a lot of pressure on Akhilesh Yadav and his government to bring law and order in check. There's been a whole series of incidents which have been a big blot on his administration. Now at this stage, it seems that organs are being trained at the Chief Minister to come out and address the situation. This was in fact a criticism of the Mulayam Yadav government also when he was in power, that UP had been thrown into virtual Gunda Raj, and that's something which has emerged as another factor here. BSP MLAs there engaging in scuffles and protests, and in fact exchanges going out across in the assembly. Live pictures coming to you from the UP assembly. Alright, Amir Haq joins us for the live input. Amir, just take us through the reason, the immediate trigger behind these protests, these clashes playing out in the Uttar Pradesh assembly there.
Well, I would say this was well planned, because the last time around when we started back in this intersession itself, there was a 3-day holiday afterwards. Today was the first day when the assembly was expected to do some business. And in fact, the Chief Minister today had to table the supplementary budget approval by the state assembly, but all the opposition parties had in fact got together, and it was on Friday itself that they had planned a big ruckus to the state assembly once it starts to conduct its business. And the BSP, the main opposition party, plus BJP, Congress MLAs as well as Rashtriya MLAs, they all got together and shouted slogans against the Samajwadi Party government here. And especially on the issue of law and order, because this is something that has been perceived in general, that over the last 8.5 months, the law and order situation here in UP has taken a lot of beating. Also, the issue of recent communal riots in Faizabad and elsewhere in Uttar Pradesh.
Let me interrupt you here. We're playing out pictures also of Akhilesh Yadav, flanked by Azam Khan on one side, and making this situation, smiling at it, looking very lightly at what's really going on. This is a very serious situation. The ruckus they're playing out inside the assembly right now, and the Chief Minister can only offer us, a wry smile. The Speaker there too. It seems to be a situation which they were expecting and can do nothing about, it seems.
Well, obviously, this is perhaps for the first time that the Samajwadi Party, government here is getting a taste of their own medicine. This is the first time around when it has come back to government here, and the BSP, the main opposition party, is doing sloganeering and protests after coming into the well of the house. So perhaps that was why, and also because this was well perceived, all the parties had almost ganged up together last Friday itself, and it was very much expected that they'll face this hangama in the state assembly. So that is why Azam Khan there and the state chief minister smiling and protesting MLAs over there. But the issue in hand is really serious, because law and order definitely is something in terms of a larger perception that has taken a beating in so the 8 months back, allegedly there have been 8 communal riots within the state itself, and that is something that all opposition parties are on the same platform as far as this is concerned. Also, BJP has taken up the issue of the minimum support price of the sugar cane to be raised up to 400 per quintal, and this is something that they've been harping on over the last few months. In fact, recently, very recently, was there in several areas of Western UP, Saharanpur and Muzaffarnagar, who raised up this issue. So these are issues that the government can really not escape from, and they will have to come out and come out on all these issues.
Amir, it's a telling picture here. Scenes coming across, of course, from the Uttar Pradesh Assembly here, scenes of ruckus and chaos. But you look at the Parliament as well. I mean, there may be various issues of disagreement, but no business transacted in the Parliament as well. I mean, this is the way that legislators, and parliamentarians are actually carrying forth business. One wonders that how disagreements cannot be settled through the debate, and this must be done to make your voice heard.
Well, in Parliament, even in the last session, we saw, there was hardly any business that was conducted, in the House. And here as well in the State Assembly, we just had 8 days for the, official business to be conducted here in the Assembly, and 3 of these days have already been, 3 of them have already been lost because of the holiday. In fact, Samajwadi Party MLAs who died recently. Now, with only 4 days left, if nothing is done here in the House, no business conducted, then definitely, overall things will take a beating out here.
But any follow-up reactions that you've been able to pick up from the Chief Minister of the state? This is not an indictment only of himself, but also of his father's erstwhile government. He was in charge of the state of Uttar Pradesh. This term Gunda Raj in Uttar Pradesh came through when it was the Mulayam Singh Yadav government in place. It seems to have returned now, something which in fact BSP Supremo Mayawati also warned of the moment SP had come to power.
Well, yes, all these accusations have been going rounds ever since the government has taken. In fact, the last time around when Mulayam Singh Yadav was Chief Minister, then again the SP government was accused of lawlessness, especially by its own cadres, and also that officers somehow do not seem to be that much disciplined, when you compare it with the time when BSP is in power, when Mayawati was the Chief Minister in the last term. So, this time around when Akhilesh Yadav took over, people definitely were looking forward to much better regime from Samajwadi Party here. But somehow, over the last 8.5 months, nothing much seems to have been done as the law and order situation is concerned. And also very recently, another issue which has come up and which has become very controversial is the way Samajwadi Party has been letting off its own people, its own MLAs with criminal background. They are withdrawing criminal cases against them, and also certain people from the minority committee who have been accused of being involved in terror cases. This issue has become very vexed, very controversial in recent times, and BJP especially is picking up with a lot of...
Alright, contrasting pictures, in fact similar pictures coming across from the UP Assembly and the Parliament here in the national capital as well. Scenes of ruckus and chaos playing out. Sunita Aaron, senior journalist, now joins us as well. Your thoughts on the situation as it prevails in the UP Assembly, ma'am, and of course, Akhilesh Yadav, all he can offer is a wry smile sitting and watching proceedings. Well, we'll try and reconnect with Sunita Aaron in just a moment. Amir talking us through just what's really happening in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly. There are scenes of absolute chaos and ruckus. Members, legislators rushing to the well of the House, holding placards, holding banners, and trying to voice their protests as loudly and vociferously as possible. At the end of the day, the Chief Minister just helplessly sitting by the sidelines and watching. Amir, at the end of the day, when you talk about the swearing in of the Chief Minister as well, gunshots fired there, that's the way he was, brought in, sworn in as Chief Minister of the state, was a telling sign then. Something which, of course, was brought under a lot of criticism as well. Several rallies followed, where people died in firing, celebratory firing as well, once Akhilesh Yadav was sworn in. And that was perhaps the early indicator that, all may not well be, in Uttar Pradesh. Just take us to some of the more high-profile incidents as well, which have riled up the state administration.
Around the time when Akhilesh Yadav was sworn in as a Chief Minister on 15th of March, that day itself, and in fact, the days preceding when the Chief Minister took oath, on the day, on 6th March, the result was the date following it, and before the Minister's oath, there were plenty of incidents all across which went on to show how lawlessness actually in UP. The SP government has taken has taken.
And it's a telling story. I mean, Amir, they're talking us to the what's really happening in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Big development across in the national capital as well. Both houses of Parliament have been adjourned over the FDI logjam. Sunita Aaron now joins us again. In fact, we will try and reconnect that link. For the moment, scenes of ruckus playing out both in the national capital, in the Parliament, and also in the UP Assembly. We'll continue tracking developments. The FDI logjam across in the Parliament, and of course. Law and order seems to be the problem in Uttar Pradesh.